Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Two Red Gringos Amateur Announcing. I'm your house amateur and narcissist, Phil Baki, and today we are bringing you more action from the Bundesliga with this match between VfL Wolfsburg and Rabble Leipzig. Go ahead and grab a brew of your choice, whether that means coffee, tea, beer, or hell, even something stronger depending on your setting, and stay tuned. I'll be back in a second with all of the pre-match build-up, and then it will be straight into the action at the Volkswagen Arena. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Again, I'm your host, Phil Baki, and let's talk Wolfsburg versus Leipzig. Being a Liverpool fan, this matchup is of particular interest because we see two players whose futures are tied to Liverpool. The home side sports a fixture of Liverpool's past, who is looking for a way back in, Divock Origi, while the visitors have perhaps the player most anticipated on Merseyside, Naby Keita. The 22-year-old Origi is still an enigma for Liverpool supporters, having ridden a wave of good form to a string of important appearances and indeed important goals for the Reds under Jurgen Klopp, but ultimately seeing himself shown the door, if temporarily, in the summer. He has performed fairly well in the Bundesliga, but his scoring record will raise eyebrows, with only 4 goals and an assist in his 13 appearances. Naby Keita is a different story entirely. If he took the Bundesliga by storm last season, then he's Armageddon this year. With 5 goals and an assist across all competitions, The dynamic midfielder is playing with a ferocity and a type of game-changing mentality that many Liverpool fans are dying for at the moment. He has shown a penchant for the extremes, however, having seen 3 red cards already this season. Keita and his teammates are enjoying a good season again in the Bundesliga and find themselves second to that pesky team from Munich. A slip-up against Mainz at the weekend saw them slide 8 points behind the Bavarian Giants and are looking to return to the type of form that could push them back into a title race. Wolfsburg, on the other hand, are a club that sits squarely mid-table. They seem like they are just waiting to pick a direction to go. They sit 11th, only 4 points from relegation, but only 7 points from the Champions League places. They have 3 wins and 3 losses, but 9 draws. 9. They sport a goal differential of +1. They are a team that both has fewer losses than 15 of the other 17 teams in the league since Martin Schmidt, their manager, became the head coach, and fewer wins than all but Köln, who have 0 in the same period. They are the anvil of clubs right now for any Arrested Development fans out there. Can Wolfsburg turn things around against Leipzig, or are the Roten Bullen priming to push Bayern to the brink? Stay tuned, because the lineups and all the action are next, right here on Two Red Gringos Amateur Announcing. Welcome back. As we continue the build-up to the match, we have about 15 minutes until kickoff. Let's go over the lineups for both teams. We'll start with Wolfsburg, the home side, led out by Martin Schmidt, their manager. Wolfsburg start with Koen Casteels in goal, Paul Verhaeg, Ois Udekai, John Brooks, and William across the back four. Yannick Gerhardt and Joshua Gilavogi will play in the center of midfield, while Maximilian Arnold, Yunus Mali, and Daniel Didavi will take up attacking midfield positions right behind Mario Gomez, the prolific striker, who will look to add to his total, his scoring total in the Bundesliga. On the other side of the ball for RB Leipzig, we have Peter Galashi in goal, Marcel Halstenberg, Ibrahima Konate, Dayot Upamecano, my bad, and Lucas Klosterman across the back four. Bruma, Naby Keita, Stefan Ilsanker, and Kevin Kampel will play across that midfield four, with Bruma and Kampel providing the width, Keita and Ilsanker anchoring that midfield. And Timo Werner and Yusuf Poulsen will play up top as they have under Ralph Hasenhüttl. The most notable absences from this side are definitely Emil Forsberg, who is still not fit enough even to make the bench. On the bench for Leipzig will be Ivan Mvogo, Willy Orban, Benno Schmitz, Dominic Kaiser, Konrad Leimer, Diego Demi, and Federico Palacios. So Forsberg not fit enough to make the bench. Only fit enough for the bench, on the other hand, for Wolfsburg is Divock Origi, the loanee from Liverpool, as is Paul Georges Entep, most recently played for Tottenham. Jeffrey Bruma, Max Grun, Victor Osimhen, and Robin Nosch, formerly of Dynamo Dresden, round out the rest of the Wolfsburg bench, with Elvis Rexbekaj, the Albanian, making his first ever Bundesliga appearance in the 18. So we'll see if he gets on for his first ever appearance in the Bundesliga as a substitute. That rounds out the lineups. As the match is about to start in the next about 15 minutes, go ahead and hit that chat. Go ahead and give me your thoughts, predictions for this game. It should be an entertaining one. Wolfsburg hopefully can break out of this situation where they're always drawing matches and push RB Leipzig and hopefully get a result. We'll see how these teams perform, and hopefully we can see Divock Origi come on in the second half and make a difference here for Wolfsburg. So with that, go ahead and make sure you've got those drinks filled, whether that's coffee, tea, or something a little stronger. And we will be starting with the kickoff in a few minutes. If you have anything, drop it in the chat, and I'll jump back in. As I'm sitting here, I've got my Fox Sports 2 stream on, and just so you guys know, the way that this works, we basically provide this stream. You mute the feed while you watch it, or you can listen to it like you're listening to the radio, and it just provides you free play-by-play of the match. But bottom line is we give you alternate commentary. It gives you another option when you get sick of those normal, unbiased, unfun announcers. And so if you're listening to this, you can go ahead and mute your Fox feed or turn it down, or if you're listening at work, throw some headphones in, and I promise I won't tell your boss that you're listening while you work. And yeah, you can join me for this. They're looking across some of the Bundesliga action. The first time that I did this was last week. Well, of this edition, and last weekend I was able to watch the match between Werder Bremen and Borussia Dortmund, which saw Dortmund fall down to 7th in the table, and it saw Peter Bosz sacked as the manager of Dortmund. If you're a fan of German football, and obviously watching a club like Dortmund sack their manager so quickly into his tenure, obviously something's wrong. Thomas Tuchel, obviously last season having a lot of his share of issues. So is it something wrong with Dortmund now, or is it just the environment that's created by the players, or has the board done something wrong? If you've got opinions about Dortmund, go ahead and drop those in the chat as well. But here now they're focused on the here and now, the match between RB Leipzig and VfL Wolfsburg at the Volkswagen Arena. Obviously, Leipzig sitting second in the table, 27 points. They're 8 behind Bayern Munich and only 1 clear of Schalke in third. Leipzig famously pushing Bayern last season, but unable to make a real run. They are in the Champions League, though, and I think have just dropped into the Europa League now, failing to qualify. John Brooks pictured, the American, making his big money move last summer from Hertha Berlin to Wolfsburg, and Mario Gomez making his 280th Bundesliga appearance, 155 goals. A legend in the Bundesliga, and now turning out for Wolfsburg. Take another look at the lineups just to recap. So, Koen Casteels in goal, Paul Verhaeghe, Ois Udokai, John Brooks, and William across the back four. Yannick Gerhardt, Joshua Guilavogui make a midfield two for Wolfsburg. Maximilian Arnold, Yunus Mali, and Daniel Didavi will go across the attacking positions, and Mario Gomez will lead the line. Timo Werner now pictured for RB Leipzig. He's come on the scene this year for Leipzig and for Germany, featuring heavily at the Confederations Cup in the summer, and you have to think he's going to be a fixture of the team in Russia this summer. Naby Keita, famous amongst Liverpool fans, obviously ready to make his move, and look at RB Leipzig's lineup again as well. Peter Galassi in goal, Marcel Halstenberg, Ibrahima Konate, Dio Upamecano, and Lucas Klosterman across the back four. Naby Keita and Stefan Ilsanker will play in the center of the park, with Bruma and Campbell on either wing. Bruma most likely down the left, Campbell down the right. They almost show it as a 4-2-2-2 on Fox, but we know that Werner and Poulsen will lead the line, and Bruma and Campbell will drift infield, so probably not far from the truth. And as you see the scenes in the stadium, there's quite a bit of rain coming down. It does not look warm. is going to be a pretty miserable 90 minutes for the fans who have to brave the elements, but hopefully they will get to see some fantastic attacking and adventurous football from both teams. RB Leipzig not scoring the amount of goals that they, I think, anticipated this season. Their goal differential sitting at only 3. Obviously, last week against Mainz was a bit of a slip-up for them. Twice had the lead and twice let it slip, so they will be looking to get a lead and make it stick this week to maintain that second position. Wolfsburg, on the other hand, will be looking for to turn a draw into a win. They have drawn 9 times this season, 3 wins and 3 losses, and since Martin Schmidt took over, they only have more wins than Köln, who don't have any. But at the same time, they have less losses than all but Bayern and Bayer Leverkusen. So it is one of those teams that they seem to be level each game, and we'll see if they can turn 1 point into 3. But it will be a tough ask against this Leipzig team, which is so good. Like I said, Leipzig, though, missing Emil Forsberg still. He's struggled with injury this season, so Campbell kind of drifts into that position where Forsberg would be. But for now, we look forward to kickoff and see what these players who are in the match can do. Taking a look at some of the highlights. From the past weeks. Leipzig will like their chances. They have 0 wins in 3 away games, RB Leipzig. And so they have never gone 4 straight away games in the Bundesliga in their short stay. 50th match for RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga, but they've never gone 4 straight away games without a win. Can they turn things around? See Wolfsburg just outside the top half, but they do need a win today to climb up closer to Hanover in that 10th spot. Last week we saw Bremen climb closer to safety with a win against Dortmund, which saw Peter Bosch sacked. And Wolfsburg will want to avoid falling back into that relegation scrap. Wolfsburg do have consecutive clean sheets. They'll be hoping to keep the clean sheet, but they'll also be hoping to grab a few goals themselves. Leipzig currently facing the ignominy of being winless in their last 3 games in all competitions. Includes their final group stage game of the Champions League. Unable to see out their match against Monaco, but all right, 35 degrees and rainy. Wolfsburg turning out in their home strip, white with green horizontal stripes and green sleeves. RB Leipzig in the navy blue with yellow accents. So players look to take the field. Second boldly lit tunnel that we've seen in a week. So Wolfsburg have a bright green lit tunnel. Last week we saw an almost dark room like quality in the tunnel at, oh wait, where did I see that? Oh, Union Berlin. In Dynamo Dresden's game against Union Berlin in the 2 Bundesliga, Union Berlin had a bright red light in the tunnel that made it look like a photo darkroom more than a tunnel, but the fans are all in their seats here, and the atmosphere at the Volkswagen Arena is pumping up. The supporters are ready for sure. These players certainly ready. And it won't be long now before we start the kickoff. Wolfsburg looking to impress these fans. Leipzig looking to send them home empty-handed. Martin Schmidt and Ralf Hasenhüttl taking their positions on the touchline, and both of them enjoying a friendly bit of banter before the game. The captains out at midfield for the coin toss. Mario Gomez for Wolfsburg and Peter Gulaschi for RB Leipzig. All the requisite hands have been shaken. Coins have been flipped. And Guido Winkman looks to take charge of this match. We'll see how he looks to approach this. Bundesliga referees, in my experience, are a little less reactionary than English or other referees across the globe. They don't necessarily get caught up in the emotion of things, but I guess that's typically German, remaining stoic and trying not to get caught up in the emotion. As Leipzig will get things going here at the Volkswagen Arena shortly. Timo Werner over the ball, and probably the biggest difference maker, along with Naby Keita, in this Leipzig team. Everyone in green will be looking to Mario Gomez and Maximilian Arnold, but Yunus Mali can be a threat. I think when you look at Wolfsburg's attacking options, you think they probably should be scoring more than they do. Mali performed really well last season to earn his move to Wolfsburg, and we will see how things pan out today as things are now underway. Leipzig earned an early throw. Werner drifting out to the left, as is Bruma, who will patrol that left-hand touchline pretty much all game. Leipzig gaining control of the ball here and probably will look to dominate most of the game today. They can expect to probably outpass Wolfsburg, but Wolfsburg, they're definitely sitting high. They're not sitting back. His ball's up towards Poulsen, and he's dispossessed, unable to hold it up, and Wolfsburg for the first time today can try to pass it around the back as Udokai and Brooks exchange passes, and a loose pass out from the back from Verhaeg is put out for a throw by Leipzig. And again, both teams, I mean, it's a cliche, but both teams just feeling each other out here. Nothing too high intensity to start. But Wolfsburg are engaging in their own attacking third when Leipzig have the ball. So they are engaging a fairly high press, and Leipzig will look to break it as that ball is just a little loose and unable to find Klosterman down the right. See what Leipzig were trying to do. They tried to play that quick ball into and out of midfield to get down the wing, and ball just got away from Ilsanker as he tried to find Klosterman with the first time pass, and Wolfsburg have possession as a result. Lofted high by Castells, and the ball eventually does come to Didavi, and he plays an aimless pass, which is just barely kept in and almost bizarrely kept in, and Castells will is adjudged to have rolled out by the referee. That was an odd play down the sideline, but Leipzig looking to start quickly. Campbell unable to get past and towards the center and lofts a high ball that Didavi is able to bring down. And now Wolfsburg with an opportunity. Was that a shout for handball on Ilsanker? No. And he carries it out, looking for Werner. Unable to find him. Poulsen and Werner engaging high up the field as well. Both teams pressing and causing mistakes early in the game, but nothing near enough the goal to cause an actual problem. This ball is lofted high, and Didavi attempted to chase, but it's played back to Galashi and comfortably plays it out as Leipzig look to build from the back. Upamecano ultimately opting to play it back to Galashi, but you can see exactly what both teams are going to try to do. They're both going to press high. They're both going to try to take their opportunities to break that press. As Wolfsburg able to get the ball off Poulsen, but Keita regains control in midfield and plays a searching ball through towards Werner, but Wolfsburg smart to it. William and Verhaeghe combining to keep that from being dangerous. Keita, obviously, dangerous figure in midfield as he's gone past a couple of players and ball's eventually worked out towards Klosterman. Klosterman able to put a cross in low, but it's brought back out, and then a high shot in the end from Ilsanker. Never threatening Castile's net. Wolfsburg restart play. William playing down the left. He's a right back by trade, but Verhaeghe is playing down the right, and William employed in a left back role. It's worked around to Verhaeghe and then eventually across to Max Arnold, but rotated back through the defense again, and John Brooks can carry it forward and play a searching ball forward for William to chase, but Klosterman is smart to it, and Galashi clears it towards Poulsen, who can't hold it up, and Max Arnold tries to bring it under control. It's eventually Didavi who comes away from it, and his ball is too heavy forward towards Galashi. Both teams in this first 5 minutes, as we cross the 5.5 minute mark, the first 5 minutes have been a bit sloppy from both teams, not in a worrying way, just in a way that hasn't linked their attack together. Poulsen attempts to bring the ball down, but he's been swarmed as Leipzig try to play those long balls up towards Poulsen for him to hold up. He is that type of specialist who can play with his back to goal and hold things up, but maybe a mistake here by Wolfsburg as it's come for Werner. Oh, Werner saved by Castiles. It was a good shot from a tight angle. It was a terrible back pass that from nothing came to Werner, who was in an offside position, but it was a Wolfsburg pass that reached him, and Campbell maybe in again, but Didavi tracking back and able to dispossess him. Werner nearly taking the first opportunity. Castiles got down really well to save. Now Wolfsburg deal with the throw into the box. Only as far as Keita, but then Didavi hoofs it clear. Upamecano collects for Leipzig, and Bruma now will try to dribble past a couple players and does really well. It's Max Arnold who closes him down, but a ball forward for Campbell eventually does find him. He keeps it in and crosses. Oh, what a clearance. It was actually a last-ditch effort by Verhaeghe. Only as far as Bruma, though, and Leipzig keeping Wolfsburg under pressure here. It is all over the place right now. There are chances coming left and right. But Wolfsburg able to finally settle the ball down. Still pressed, and now Campbell, it's a bit of a stamp. It's a late, the bleach blonde. Campbell has trod on believe it's Max Arnold there. The long ball forward, you can see it was actually a bad back pass by Gila Vogui, which reached Werner, and any other player I wouldn't have backed to shoot from that type of angle. And then we see the challenge from Campbell. Yeah, he just steps right on the top of Max Arnold's foot. It is a foul, and Galashi will push his team, Casteels will push his team forward and attempt to get this ball downfield and out of Wolfsburg's half for the first time in a minute. Advantage played for Wolfsburg is it was actually, it's run all the way through to Galashi, but he thought it might be a foul on Gerhardt as Max Arnold played it forward, and it was actually Yunus Mali in the box who ended up going down under the challenge from Ilsanker, but nothing in it. And Leipzig right back the other way. Bruma chips the ball forward for Poulsen, who goes down, but again, nothing doing. Gilavogi able to lend some control to this, but his lofted pass forward, searching for Gomez, is collected by Upamecano, and again, Leipzig able to cycle possession. Both keepers with plenty of touches here in the first half, not necessarily from saves, except for the one from Casteels. Poulsen again trying to hold up a pass from Galashi, and it's just not coming off yet for Leipzig. Wolfsburg have swarmed Poulsen every time he's come near the ball. Wolfsburg with a nice little combination, but nothing doing again, and not able to really get in behind Leipzig, despite the fact that Leipzig have been playing a fairly high line. Like I was saying, that first chance that came to Werner, he took it from such a tight angle, and I wouldn't have backed pretty much any striker in the world as a searching ball towards the aforementioned Werner is cleared by Wolfsburg, and then Keita fouled, but the referee has allowed play to go on as Leipzig still have possession through Campbell down the right. Plays it infield towards Keita. Keita looks for that ball forward to Poulsen, but was unable to do anything with it. But then a loose pass out from the back from Verhaeghe. It finds no one, and Leipzig will regain possession with a throw. You can see Martin Schmidt. Like I said, he's become a bit of a specialist in draws. 2 clean sheets in his last 2 games. So far, Leipzig, the far more threatening side, as John Brooks is able to play the ball back to Casteels. Davi looking to bring this under his spell. In the end, it's Max Arnold, and only as far as Ilsanker, and Keita and Ilsanker linking up and potentially releasing Timo Werner down the right. Sliding challenge from William puts the ball out, and will it be a corner or throw it? Looks like it will be a corner for RB Leipzig, the first of the game for either side. Right in front of the Wolfsburg supporters in the Volkswagen Arena. Udekai and Brooks conversing. How are they going to deal with the big threats in there from Leipzig? Yusuf Poulsen being the main threat here, the target man. As Halstenberg takes, punched away by Casteels, collected by Bruma. And a nice 1-2. No, it's actually Keita down the right. Keita bundled over, but Mario Gomez did not foul the Ghanaian midfielder. He thinks he was. It's a coming together right on the edge of the box. Gomez just showing a bit of strength there. I don't think it was a foul, but then again, if Lovren's foul on Calvert-Lewin was a foul this weekend, then that definitely was also on Keita. But Wolfsburg happy to regain possession through the goal kick, and John Brooks lofting a long pass looking for Didavi, but nothing doing, and Leipzig looking to launch the attack the other way. Casteels able to collect the long ball that Werner was hunting. Wolfsburg able to bring it out from the back again, but both teams long passing, not accurate really, and unable to really exert any control over the game. And apart from the Werner chance, there hasn't been anything really created in this opening 13 minutes. Maybe they can do something now as Gila Vogi's gone forward and Wolfsburg suddenly on the attack. Ball put in. Gomez goes down in the box, and it's a penalty. Gomez went down under the challenge from Upamecano, and the referee has given the penalty. Leipzig not happy with the decision. Galashi out to talk to the referee, Guido Winkman. He is not being swayed. Konate and Poulsen both going towards the ref, and it was actually a combination between Ilsanker and Konate who brought down Gomez, and I don't know if they can have too many complaints. You have to win that. If it's in the box, you have to win the ball, and they gave Gomez plenty of reason to go over, and Gomez actually struggling after the play. I don't know if he's just trying to ensure the ref that, yes, he was fouled, but limping out of the box. It will be Paul Verhaeghe to take. Of all the attacking options for Wolfsburg, it'll be a defender to take this for Wolfsburg, and it is a goal. Paul Verhaeghe opens the scoring for Wolfsburg, 1-0 over Leipzig. 14 minutes gone, and the home team has the lead. Really well taken pen into the bottom right corner. And like I said, I don't think Leipzig can have too many complaints about the decision from the referee. Gomez under a lot of contact, and that is Paul Verhaeghe's first goal of this Bundesliga campaign. A really well taken pen that puts Martin Schmidt and his men 1-0 up against the favorites Leipzig here in Wolfsburg. The main offender in that, Konate, trying to make amends. The pass forward, Bruma unable to flick it in towards Yusuf Poulsen, and eventually Upamecano has to play it back to Galashi. Launched forward again, and Poulsen trying to hold it up. William able to deal with it. And now a loose pass allows William to collect for Wolfsburg, but he's dispossessed. Campbell now looking to escape pressure. Wolfsburg energized by that goal, but ultimately Campbell fouled, and Leipzig will restart play down the right-hand side. Well, just like that, it is 1-0 Wolfsburg. Campbell latching onto a loose ball here, and his cross cut out by Gila Vogi tracking back from midfield, but put out for a corner. And Leipzig have an early opportunity just a couple minutes after conceding the penalty at one end. They do have a corner. Campbell out near the flag to take it. Halstenberg took the first and is punched away by Casteels, but can Kevin Campbell deliver the correct ball? It's put into the box, and it was actually flicked on and over by Marcel Halstenberg. He didn't quite get the volley right. Very difficult skill. He tried to guide it in with his side foot. Just didn't make the right contact, and it's over the bar. He did have the opportunity, but it would have been a wonder goal if he had finished it, and definitely not Halstenberg's specialty. But this is Leipzig's specialty, pressing, and Keita's charging forward, and he's put a cross in towards Werner. Blocked away, but Poulsen wins the ball back. A really good tackle that Keita collects, and he finds Campbell down the right. Campbell beats his man. Campbell with the chance to put it into the box. It's over Bruma's head, though, and eventually put behind for a corner. Wolfsburg looking vulnerable immediately after they scored. Wolfsburg having to defend a corner again, and if they give an attacking player the amount of space that they gave Halstenberg on the last, then they're going to struggle. Bruma just not able to collect that cross from Campbell that was put in, and Campbell's now moved to the other side to take this corner as well as we cross the 18-minute mark, with Wolfsburg leading 1-0. Ball in towards the far post, but it misses everybody, and it's out for a goal kick. Disappointing delivery from Kevin Campbell. We have to think that Martin Schmidt's happy with the state of affairs, but I think he knows as well as anybody that it's tough to keep this Leipzig side from scoring. So although they've kept a clean sheet, he'll definitely want to look for an opportunity for a second goal. Is Poulsen doing some more good pressing, but Wolfsburg able to maintain possession, and Max Arnold looking for William down the left, but really good job by Konate to brush him off the ball. And now Campbell, who's switched out to the left, it looks like him and Bruma have switched flanks just to give Wolfsburg a different look, and Bruma cutting in from the right onto the ball, can't find Keita with the pass, and Wolfsburg able to break again. Another good job by Konate to win that ball, and now Poulsen with a throw. William thinking he was fouled, but Poulsen just stronger than the Brazilian right back. And maybe it was a foul, but Poulsen showing his strength, and Klosterman able to get down the right and take this throw. He'll look to put it into the box. He's looking for Poulsen again, flicked on, but Brooks able to head clear. Not really dealing with it, but at the second attempt he does, and again his header only as far as Keita. Keita with a nice 1-2 there with Werner. And now a chip ball by Elsanker, looking for Klosterman. Oh, and it's headed away. How is it not gone in? Klosterman got down the right really well, and it was a last-ditch header. Great run down the right. Chip ball by Elsanker found him. He crossed it in towards Werner, standing right in front of the net, but it was actually basically just hit John Brooks in the face. He didn't really know much about it, and he put it behind for a corner. Leipzig with another corner. John Brooks just pointing to his teammates as it will have to actually be Halstenberg to put this in towards the far post, and Konate was coming in at the far post, but didn't get anywhere near it. Leipzig with all the pressure since the Wolfsburg goal. Wolfsburg barely getting out of their half in the last 6 minutes or so, but hasn't amounted to anything yet. But you just feel like that next goal is going to go Leipzig's way. Important for Die Rotenbullen to make the pressure count for something and not give up another opportunity to Wolfsburg. Leipzig getting a throw here off of the long boot from Casteels. Poulsen looking to flick on again towards Werner, but Werner looking for the link up with Poulsen again down the sideline, only finds the touchline with the ball, and it is a Wolfsburg throw. Really poor throw. I'm not really sure. The ref's having him retake the throw, and it's actually Martin. It's Ralph Hasenhuttl is having a discussion with the fourth official as Wolfsburg looking to get forward again, and I think it may have been an offside flag in the end, but it ran through to Galashi anyways, who restarts play, rolling it forward to Elsanker. Keita now on the ball. Every time he's on the ball, he looks ready to change the pace of play and change the direction of play as Bruma and Klosterman are linking up down the right now. Bruma having switched flanks with Campbell, and Klosterman finds himself in the box again, gets a shot off, but it's a weak effort towards Casteels, and the keeper is able to collect very comfortably and roll the ball to John Brooks. John Brooks just competing with Werner here and relying on Casteels to boot the ball forward. Max Arnold and Gila Vogie looking to play out of trouble, and eventually it is a foul by Upamecano on Daniel Didavi. Didavi down in midfield, and Max Arnold just having a conversation with the referee about the strength of that tackle from Upamecano. Just came through the back, and he trod on his heel. It's definitely going to be a sore one. But as long as there's not any damage to the tendon, he should be all right. It won't feel good for Didavi, but there's no malice in it from Upamecano. John Brooks standing over the free kick, just looking to release someone down the right, but he only finds Halstenberg down that defensive left side for Leipzig, and now his defensive header found Keita, but Maximilian Arnold smart to it. It was a good thing too. Keita had some space in front of him to run, and Casteel's long ball up towards Gomez is out for a throw. Gerhardt just trying to get stuff done down that right-hand side. He's barely had a touch of the ball. A loose pass there by Upamecano is out now for a Wolfsburg throw. Paul Verhaeghe, the goal scorer, to take. He, in my mind, was a surprise selection to take that, having no goals this season, and a loose pass there by Brooks. Unable to find William down the left, and it seemed a surprise selection to take a penalty. But he did the job, and he did it well. And that is why things stand the way they are. It was a foul by Konate or Ilsanker. One of the two conceded a foul on Mario Gomez in the box, and now a foul by William allows Leipzig to restart play really quickly, and Keita now has the ball, finds a really good pass to Yusuf Poulsen, who crosses it in, and it's booted behind in the end by William. It'll be another corner, though, for RB Leipzig, and Keita just showing his skill there, his vision, his range of passing. Great, lovely weighted through ball towards Poulsen to release him down the right, and his cross in towards Werner was just about dealt with by William, but it will be another corner for RB Leipzig as it's put into the box, punched away by Casteels, but not far enough. John Brooks eventually deals with the second ball in. Now Keita looking to restart play as they have a couple of nips on Keita at the edge of the box, but his eventual ball in towards the center is cut out and dealt with. Galashi able to restart play, and Werner's got forward down the left, and he's one-on-one with Verhaeghe. A ball in towards Poulsen is cut out, though, by Udekai. But again, Leipzig maintained the pressure and regained possession high up the field. Klosterman again in a good position. Campbell now back on the right. Campbell with the ball in and cut out by Brooks. And it'll be another corner for Leipzig. So much pressure in the last 10 minutes as we've now played 26. And Campbell again will look for the right delivery on these corners. Can they get this one right? Ball inflicted at the near post, but caught by Casteels. It was flicked on by Halstenberg. He had his opportunity again off a corner, and Wolfsburg now looking to launch a counterattack, but really smartly dealt with by Bruma down the left for Leipzig, and now Leipzig back on the ball. Halstenberg now beating a man for pace down the left, and Bruma flicks it to Werner. Werner brought down on the edge of the area rashly, and it was Udekai who brought him down, and ill-advised on a number of accounts. He can see he put the challenge in strongly, but he didn't win the ball at all. Werner always had him beat, and now this is a dangerous position. Right on the edge of the area on the left-hand side as Leipzig look. There'll be plenty of players standing over the ball looking to find the right delivery. Just have to see where they've placed the ball to see if there's a true angle for... I mean, you'd have to think Werner would be the favorite to take this. It's in an area where he could put in a cross or could go for goal. We'll see what Werner decides. As Werner, he's gone for goal, but it's off the wall. It does its job, and Leipzig will have a throw near midfield. Werner running back to take it, wants to restart play while Leipzig are up the field, but Halstenberg will take those duties on instead. Werner upset with himself that he's hit the wall with the free kick. He went for the flat trajectory that is kind of become so popular these days, wanted to knuckle that towards the top right corner. Just give Casteels a lot to think about, but he hit the wall in the end and it did come to nothing. But Leipzig maintaining the pressure again, and Poulsen now brought down on the edge of the area, and it's also a foul. That's Gilavogi now who brought down Poulsen, and Gilavogi's claiming it's a dive, but it looked a foul from where I was standing. Yeah, he just got his leg in front of Poulsen's and obstructed him. John Brooks having a word with the referee as well, and I think Wolfsburg just debating the spot of this free kick, and in the end it's going to be a yellow card for Joshua Gilavogi, the first booking of the game. It's his third yellow card of the campaign, and now he'll have 60 minutes to contend with to behave himself. I don't know if it's a booking in my book, but I think the referee's given it for accumulation. It's not his first foul of the game, as now Halstenberg and Bruma stand over this one, providing a left foot and a right foot option. This one a little farther on the flank, so you'd have to imagine they're going to put this one into the box towards the likes of Poulsen, as Bruma opts to leave it for Halstenberg towards the far post, and it was Konate coming in, but he just didn't commit to the header, and it drifts out towards the corner flag, but Campbell collects. Poulsen and Campbell link up. Campbell in the box and eventually put behind for a corner. John Brooks dealing with it again. So many clearances, and I think now they're saying that Campbell was offside, and he was. He's looking straight down the line too. Very disappointing. We also need to have a talk about Campbell's haircut. I mean, it is seriously trash. If you're a professional footballer, go to a barber. Like, that's a haircut I wore in like 4th grade. Definitely need to join the ranks of the big boys if you're in the Bundesliga. Go get a big boy haircut. But aside from that, now Campbell, obviously one of those of the younger persuasion for RB Leipzig. They've scoured Austria and Germany and put together a very formidable side here in just a short amount of time. Poulsen, one of those who came up through the ranks, as he's on the ball now in the center of midfield and looking to start a counter here for Leipzig, but his ball towards Werner is not of the required quality and fizzes out. I think in the end it may have taken a deflection though, and it will be it's a Wolfsburg throw. Wolfsburg perhaps taking a bigger money approach, despite being not one of the bigger sides in Germany, not at least since they won the title in 2008, 2009. What a season that was for Wolfsburg. The likes of the Brazilian graffiti, for anyone who remembers those days in Germany when Die Wolf reigned supreme. I guess Bayern would consider those the down years, but Wolfsburg taking a much more big money approach. John Brooks, a big money signing from Hertha. Will Vogie joined for quite a bit of money, if memory serves. Quick comment from a good friend, Rabble Leipzig fan. Good old Red Bull Tolstoy, is Keita on the ball, unable to find his way through the Wolfsburg defense, and Max Arnold able to carry it out and does find Gerhardt, who maybe has his first touches of the game and is dispossessed. But no, the comment was that Campbell does stand out with his shitty haircut, and he does. He's very easy to identify in commentary, between being number 44 and the blonde highlights. So for that, I am thankful. Very easy to tell Leipzig's wingers apart between Bruma and Kevin Campbell. But Wolfsburg going with big money in recent years and not really a similar approach to RB Leipzig, and who have really relied on either players that other teams didn't really believe in, or identifying young talents from across Europe, the likes of Emil Forsberg, and as a nice flick on towards Poulsen, unable to find the attacker. Leipzig keeping the pressure up again, and a flicked header finds Campbell, and he can't control it on the edge of the area. I think he got just a little too excited about the opportunity there as he tries to bend a left-footed shot, but it is always high and wide. The initial opportunity, the better of the two for Campbell. Take another look at the pen, and yeah, Konate goes right over the foot of Gomez, and can't really have any complaints. And then Verhaeghe dispatched the penalty very well. That is why we stand where we stand at 1-0. Can see Leipzig frustrated, and Ralph Hasenhüttl probably the most frustrated of the group. Is Leipzig have had plenty of threatening opportunities, but nothing really clear-cut, and nothing that Wolfsburg haven't dealt with, as John Brooks deals with another dangerous situation and now is looking for Yunus Mali going forward, but Galashi wise to the situation. And now Bruma is involved in a coming together, and Bruma called for a foul. It's actually Gerhardt on the ground. Claims that Bruma elbowed him. Yeah, there's nothing in that. And it was actually Verhaeghe on the ground. Verhaeghe hits his head on Bruma's head, but it's certainly not there's certainly no malice, and it's certainly not a foul. If anything, Verhaeghe had Bruma wrapped up, but the referee's given it Wolfsburg's way, and Wolfsburg's bored looking on from the owner's box. You have to think they're pleased with this first half so far. Coming up on 37 minutes, Verhaeghe still down. The referee ushering them towards the sideline. As take a look at Wolfsburg's bench. Like I said in the build-up, Elvis Rex Buchaj. What a name. But finds himself in the 18 for the first time for Wolfsburg and could be in line to make his first Bundesliga appearance. The Albanian-born midfielder. And Martin Schmidt finding himself in a winning position, but he'll be thanking his lucky stars that Leipzig haven't put a chance away yet. Finally, play restarts. Verhaeg off the field for now, and he's back on immediately, so no real concerns for the defender. Leipzig, though, in possession, but only for a second. Casteels letting a long boot forward fly, but dealt with in the end by Halstenberg, and Leipzig looking to keep the tempo up, trying another long ball, searching for Werner. Werner able to chase it down, and he's down in the right-hand corner. He's taking on Brooks, switching it onto his left foot and put it across towards Poulsen, which is put out for a corner by Gilavogi. Joshua Gilavogi on a yellow, able to put that behind. But again, I think it will be another corner for Leipzig, and it will. Wolfsburg inviting a lot of pressure onto them in the last 25 minutes or so. Amazing that it's been that long since the goal, and Leipzig haven't scored. Halstenberg looking to take towards the near post, headed away, and eventually Mali is able to head it out. As we approach the 40-minute mark now, Leipzig will be pushing for a goal right before the half, and Poulsen has the ball on the right-hand side on the edge of the area. Nutmegs the defender, but Ilsanker can't bring it under control. Poulsen can bring it back under control, though, and now he's got an opportunity to put in a cross. Casteels out to catch. Poulsen, I think, more of a favorite to be on the end of a cross than delivering them, but the tall striker found himself on the right in a good position to deliver the ball in, and Casteels wise to it. It's his long ball forward to Gerhardt. Eventually works its way through, but Gerhardt not able to link up with Gomez. Gomez gives a little round of applause to Gerhardt's thinking, but the German striker hadn't made the run, and now Poulsen has made a run. He's found himself back on the right flank, and he has a bit of a miscommunication there with Klosterman, and it's behind for a goal kick. Leipzig just looking a little disjointed at times in this first half, and they've made the one critical error, which was the foul on Gomez in the box, which led to the penalty. Casteels also ranked as one of the top keepers in the Bundesliga this year. The keeper we watched last weekend, Pavlenka for Werder Bremen, is actually top. Casteels one of the best, which has led to Wolfsburg's good defensive record. And he's been good so far today. He's really made the one save that really changed this game early on when a bad Gilavogi back pass found Werner onside because of the, obviously you can't be offside when a defender deliberately touches the ball. And it found Werner through. He took a shot from a narrow angle, but it was a good delivery. As a ball into the box now from Wolfsburg. It was Gerhardt who delivered it, but Leipzig do really well to deal with it, and Ilsanker comes away with the ball. He's found Campbell down the right, and is this the situation for Leipzig right at the end of the half? Campbell with the cross in, Brooks alive to that one again, and out for a throw. Ilsanker over to take it, wants to restart play quickly. Now Bruma's on the edge of the box. He's worked some space here, and his left-footed shot is blocked by Gilavogi. Now Wolfsburg coming away with it again. And now Didavi's gone down, and earned a foul and just relieved some of the pressure from Wolfsburg. That counter from Leipzig seemed like the chance, but John Brooks has had a really good first half. It's good to see the big German-American back in action. He's had his share of injury problems. Oh, and now a bit of a slip from Upamecano, but it turned out that Gerhardt was offside. Gerhardt's contributions in this first half, absolutely minimal. And now Upamecano plays a long searching ball towards Poulsen, but headed smartly back by John Brooks. Wolfsburg looking to start things again, but I think they'll be more than happy with a 1-0 at halftime, given the opportunities and the chances. Oh, but now a bad pass cut out by Bruma. It was a square ball across the back. Bruma down the left with a chance to loft the ball in towards Poulsen, but headed away by Udekai. Oh, it was very nearly another opportunity for Leipzig, but Udekai did really well. That defensive pairing in there today has been absolutely vital to keep Wolfsburg in the lead. Leipzig playing maybe a few too many crosses, though. That pair in there, Udekai and Brooks, doing very well, and I think Keita thought he was fouled as he tried to bring the ball forward, but Wolfsburg able to clear and nothing given. Gomez closing down Konate, but Leipzig able to bring the ball back under control as we enter the last minute of regular time, and Keita looking for Halstenberg down the left, but nothing doing. It was actually Werner who had found his way out to the left. Keita with a few words for the referee about his earlier coming together on the edge of the Wolfsburg area as he looked to carry it forward. But Casteels again restarting with a long throw, and Didavi, Gilavogi, and Verhaeg all linking up, and now Didavi's brought Gerhardt into the play. Everything going down this right side right now for Wolfsburg, and Didavi fouled now, and it will give Wolfsburg an opportunity to deliver a ball into the box. Ralph Hasenhüttl is letting the referee know exactly what he thinks about that decision. He's given it for a pull, but the referee actually walking over to Hasenhüttl, so probably just telling the Leipzig boss to calm down, but Hasenhüttl not. He's given it. Yeah. Hasenhüttl has a point. Bruma was contending for that ball with Didavi. Didavi actually had a handful of Bruma's shirt, but he's given it for a pullback on Bruma. So Wolfsburg now with an opportunity to put the ball in the box in the last minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half, and Glashi has to tip it over the bar. That cross turned into a shot halfway through, and Glashi has to tip it over the bar, and Wolfsburg will have a corner and another opportunity to deliver a set piece here. It will probably be one of the last actions of the first half. Didavi over to take. Well, if Wolfsburg were to grab this here, it would be a sucker punch and give Leipzig quite a bit to do. Low foot across. It finds its way to the back post, but it isn't connected with, and now Keita's actually come away with it. Can Keita get forward enough, quickly enough? Only about 5 seconds left. It may have just been stopped there, and in the end, and now a foul's been given against Wolfsburg as Keita fouled, and the referee will not allow them to take the free kick. A foul was given for an initial challenge by Gerhardt. Leipzig went to restart play, and the referee stopped play. And that is halftime. Wolfsburg lead 1-0 against RB Leipzig. in what is a, a halftime result that, uh, on the balance of play, not deserved. But the one critical error that was made was the penalty, which brought down Mario Gomez in the area and led to the chance for Paul Verhaeghe to convert. So we head into halftime 1-0. RB Leipzig with the lion's share of chances in the first half, but only forcing one real save out of Cohen Casteels. We'll see if Leipzig can get back into this game, and I think, as I said in the first half, I don't think that Wolfsburg are going to be able to win this game 1-0. That's quite a tall ask against a team like Leipzig, but Leipzig may look to just try to change their approach a little bit in the second half, because we've got Werner and Poulsen up top, who are a potent duo, but they definitely were limited in that first half. Great performance so far by John Brooks and Oas Udokai in the center of Wolfsburg's defense, but they did show their vulnerabilities, and it will be interesting to see if Leipzig find a way to start exploiting those. We'll see if Ralph Hasenhüttl has any attacking changes in mind or ways to change this shape up to better get after Wolfsburg. But for now, it is 1-0. Wolfsburg lead, a penalty scored by Paul Verhaeghe. For all their attacking options, their left backs taking a penalty, and to great effect. So, as we head into halftime, 1-0. Please stay tuned for the second half. In the meantime, grab a drink, whether you're still enjoying a late morning coffee, or a afternoon tea, or a brew of a different sort. Go ahead, grab a refill, and we will be back with all the second half coverage just here in a few short minutes. Hope you will stick with us. This is Phil Bakke for Two Red Gringos Amateur Announcing. Right, and we are back. I just wanted to talk briefly about, as we get ready to start this second half, I just wanted to talk briefly about some of the connections between my clubs in this game. So, obviously, my number one team, Liverpool, big connection to this game with everyone watching with interest. The performances of Naby Keita, set to join Liverpool in the summer for a hefty fee, but one that he proves worthy of pretty much week in and week out. Such a dynamic midfielder, and love to watch him play. Can't wait till he's turning out in the red of Liverpool. But also on the bench for Wolfsburg, we've got Divock Origi, and Divock is he's a little bit of an enigma. He is tough to nail down. He has scored some absolutely vital goals for Liverpool in his career. Most notably, he scored in the away leg in the Europa League tie against Borussia Dortmund a couple seasons ago. He scored a few great Premier League goals, important goals, and it's just when he was being talked about to be loaned out, I was a little surprised because he does seem like a big talent potentially, but I think Klopp saw the opportunity to loan him out. He was loaned for a fee of £10 million just for the season, just as a loan fee, which is what Liverpool paid for him originally. So they've already recouped the fee that it took to buy Origi, just in 1 year's loan fee. So an impressive piece of business in that case, but it's certainly one of those moves that I don't want to see Origi go just yet, because I think he can really be a top player, and he's shown some flashes of brilliance at Wolfsburg. He's done well so far. He's on the bench today, so I think if Leipzig get back into this game and equalize, and Wolfsburg are looking for that goal to break the deadlock, I think he's going to be the one that they look to, but time will tell. But aside from that, we've also got I've got a couple more connections. So for those, some of you may know that my team in Germany is Dynamo Dresden, who currently reside in the 2 Bundesliga. It won't be long before I commentate on one of their games. They are a great club, but they have a connection to Wolfsburg in that 2 former Dynamo Dresden youth talents, 2 former Dynamo Dresden players, one not so young, but one quite young, and one who's looking to get into the Germany setup at the senior level. Justin Eilers, who is 28, but he plays for Wolfsburg, and he's really only been able to get into the reserve side. But I root for Eilers so much, and I'm actually, you can't see at home, but I'm wearing a Dynamo Dresden kit from a couple of years ago. Justin Eilers on the back. He was the man when Dresden went down to the 3rd division. Scored boatloads of goals down in the 3 Liga, the Dritten Liga. Absolutely fantastic. Great to watch. And while he's, mainly playing in the reserves now for Wolfsburg, will always be one of my favorite German players because of the impact he had and the role he played in Dresden's promotion back to the 2nd Bundesliga. And along with him is another Wolfsburg player now, Marvin Stefaniak. Stefaniak is an attacking midfielder who was the creative force for Dresden, and he's still very young. He's about 21, and he was bought by Wolfsburg for, I think, about a fee of about 10 million euros. Part of Germany's youth setup, and looking to break into the senior team. But again, only really playing for Wolfsburg 2 at the time, or at the moment. But two great players for Dresden that I really hope Wolfsburg are able to give them a chance in the Bundesliga, because both players showed just enormous quality at Dresden. And Stefaniak is one of those guys with a great set piece delivery and just a great head on his shoulders and a great first touch. Eilers is one of those guys, just has a nose for goal, knows exactly where it is, knows how to score, but he just hasn't been able to break through in Wolfsburg. And it may be one of those stories where, hey, their prime was in the Drittenliga, and it's kind of the maximum potential for them. But especially for Stefaniak, I hope he's able to be a Bundesliga player soon, because he showed week in and week out just what a player he could be in the future. So that's my random personal connection to Wolfsburg and Leipzig. There's another former Dresden player on the bench for Wolfsburg, Rabble. Bit of a journeyman, but played at Dresden for a period when they were in the 2 Bundesliga. And it was so a bit of a Dresden connection between Wolfsburg and my German club, Dynamo Dresden, as we look to finally get back into second half action. That's my quick little story for everybody. So I hope you guys have enjoyed so far. I really enjoy doing this. Something that, amongst all the madness of American soccer and all that, it just keeps me focused on the fun of it, and why we watch football in the first place, and why we love this game, and not worry about the business side or the court cases or all the distractions, the advertisements, the commercial side of the game. It just lets us focus on match day, and that's why we all watch football in the first place. So we watch it for the love of the sport, and I'm just narcissistic enough to think that you guys like listening to me talk about it. So I really enjoy doing this, because it just reminds me of the simpler things about the game. As the teams are in the tunnel now for the start of the second half, and they are getting ready to come out the Volkswagen Arena, putting on their light show again. See that top 4 in the Bundesliga now. Obviously, that's where everybody wants to be. Currently occupied by Bayern, Leipzig, Schalke, and Borussia Mönchengladbach, but it's so close between second and ninth. Only a few points separating the teams, and they're showing a live table. So with this win, Wolfsburg would come within a point of Hanover in 10th. But that's only if things remain as they stand, as the teams are back out of the tunnel. The referees are hand clasping, like the bro clasp. I don't know. If you know what that's called, like, drop it in the comments. But yeah, I think it's like, or the chat, like a bro clasp. They love it. The floodlights are on. The teams are out. No changes evident as we start the second half. I don't know about you guys, but since I have the day off work and it's now the afternoon, I've opted for a brew of the malt and hops variety for this second half. So I hope those of you who are able and not at work will join me in imbibing. Cheers. And I apologize for any, swallowing noises or drinking noises, I guess, as we go. Play has restarted. And an early loose pass from Max Arnold collected by Ilsanker, who's fouled, and then he restarts play really quickly. Campbell, who finds himself back on the right, cuts inside, finds Bruma on the left. Bruma in the box, left-footed shot blocked away. Wolfsburg looked to play out from the back, and they're not quite able to, as Konate brings the ball coolly under control. And Leipzig back in possession. See if Leipzig can make the pressure count. In the first minute of the second half, they were already in the opposition box, and Klosterman venturing down the right. He delivers a cross in, but Castile's, again, smart to it. Castile's hasn't really allowed the delivery from Leipzig to count for anything when it is close to him, and Brooks and Udokai have dealt with the rest. Confirmation that there have been no substitutions from either side. But another long ball forward by Wolfsburg leads to Leipzig possession, and now Werner is down the right, found by Campbell, running at Brooks, trying to get to the byline, and his cross deflected out for a corner. Werner runs towards the corner flag, and can't imagine he'd be the one to take it. He leaves it for Halstenberg. Halstenberg with that left foot on the right-hand side, just looking to deliver that out-swinging corner. Towards the near post, headed away. There's Gila Vogi at the near post, dealing with that, out for a Leipzig throw. Again, it's been all the pressures been from Leipzig, really reminiscent of Liverpool's game this weekend, as Keita lets a left-footed shot fly, but it's well off target. Well, in the last game that I did commentary for, it was Werder Bremen against Dortmund, and Maximilian Eggestein scored an absolute wonder goal with his left foot, cutting onto the left, but Keita not reaching that level of quality on his left-footed strike. It is his weaker side. It's another aimless ball forward by Wolfsburg, leads to more Leipzig possession. You can kind of see this is how the game's going to go. Klosterman going down the right again, and he's adjudged to have handled. He's a bit unlucky. He wasn't really trying to play it with his hand. He actually tried to get it out of the way, but it did strike his arm. It bounced up and struck his arm, and Wolfsburg in absolutely no hurry. The time wasting's already begun, and Hasenhuttl letting the fourth official know that he's displeased. 3 minutes into the second half, and time wasting fully underway. Campbell able to keep the ball in. Poulsen keeping the pressure up past the sliding Brooks, but Brooks just enough to get the ball to Arnold, but his pass is loose. Keita finds Werner. Werner trying to get around Brooks, and Brooks just able to ease him off the ball. That was really poor from Maximilian Arnold. Nearly led to an opportunity for Leipzig. But now Wolfsburg with their first chance to really get the ball down and play. Verhey going down the right. Can't find Gerhardt with his pass, and now Keita's in some space. Keita actually finds himself as the furthest Leipzig player forward as Poulsen's running to his right. Keita looking to slide the ball in towards Poulsen, but his reverse pass cut out by Udokai. Wolfsburg again playing out from the back. every time I say Udokai's name, I can't help but think of Lord of the Rings, as that searching ball forward towards Gomez is cut out by Galashi, quick out of his box, and Campbell now looking to slide in Werner, who's down the right flank again, and the clearance was poor, but Poulsen can't get to it, and it is cleared in the end by Brooks. Now Ilsanker wins the ball and restarts play really, really quickly after a handball by Wolfsburg, and getting down the right again, but the cross is too near Casteels, and Poulsen unable to get on the end of it. It was Klosterman coming down that right again. He's been on the overlap all game, but the deliveries are not getting past Casteels. And now a missed header by Konate allows Gomez to collect the ball down the right, but good covering by Upamecano, whose long pass forward now nowhere near Poulsen, and both teams trying to go back to front at times, and it hasn't worked all game, but they almost insist on it. It's getting a little tiresome, just because these defenders are launching passes and just completely bypassing what is, in my opinion, quality midfield players. Leipzig's doing it far less than Wolfsburg is. Campbell's now won it back on the right for Leipzig, and they're just slowing play down a bit, allowing their attacking players to get forward. Ilsanker finds Bruma. Bruma's drifted out to the right. Ball towards Poulsen in the box. Poulsen towards Halstenberg. It's in! Marcel Halstenberg for RB Leipzig. He has equalized in the Volkswagen Arena. And the most unlikely source has found the corner. It was a bit of a lucky finish, but Leipzig are not going to complain. He made a good run. He reacted well. And the ball in the end went in off the post. He got his just rewards. Poulsen did really well to hold play up, and he just made the correct contact to put Casteels off. And again, great touch by Poulsen at the edge of the area, and just an instinctive finish by the left back. Marcel Halstenberg with his first goal. And the fullbacks have now traded goals for both teams. Verhaeg from the spot and Halstenberg overlapping on the left, but we find ourselves level. Just like that. And Wolfsburg now, because the plan really seemed, as they came out in the second half, the plan seemed to be to maintain that clean sheet. And the first time that Leipzig create a real opportunity, Halstenberg just reacted well. Didn't have much of a chance to size up the shot and just had to slide in and hit it first time on the slide. Finds that bottom right corner really well. We are back on level terms. Wolfsburg will have to work to try to keep this a draw, because Leipzig have created far more. It's 1-1. Now Udokai is venturing forward for Wolfsburg, and he's found Didavi in the box. Didavi closed down by Upamecano really well, unable to deliver a telling cross, and now their clearance has found Keita. Keita looking for an outside of the boot pass towards Werner. Werner putting Brooks under pressure, but Brooks able to just deal with it. But it's not dealt with in the end. It's put back into the danger area, and Werner's able to cut onto his right. Timo Werner, he's found Campbell on the edge of the area. Campbell just wide. Probably didn't choose the right option there, Campbell, as Ralph Hasenhuttl is down his touchline practically to the goal. Werner did well. He cut in. You figured he'd unleash that fierce right-footed shot. And then Campbell in the end just skews his shot well wide. 55 minutes gone. We are level here at the Volkswagen Arena, 1-1. And two unlikely sources for all the... If anyone put money for first scorer on Paul Verhaeghe and Marcel Halstenberg, then you've probably walked away with quite a bit of cash, because I think there's probably about 8 or 9 players either side of the ball that you'd probably pick before them to score. Now Wolfsburg just looking to create something here, and they might have an opportunity for Gomez. What a shot, but it is just high and wide. Gomez unleashing a fierce shot towards the top right-hand corner. I thought it had no chance. It looked like the keeper had it covered, and then it curled directly towards the postage stamp. What a strike. I mean, that is the type of strike that you'd expect from a veteran of Mario Gomez's quality. Nearly something out of nothing there for Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg just gaining back a little bit of possession. I think they realize they won't be able to play the hopeful counter. They'll leave themselves vulnerable, and they may be vulnerable now as Leipzig are headed the other way through Poulsen down the left. Keita now works it out to Bruma, who's back on the left. Bruma running at the defense, but his cross is deflected. He tried to flick the ball through with the outside of his boot. Really good idea. Ooh, and a late challenge there, but he did win the ball, Upamecano. But Wolfsburg, maybe with an opportunity the other way. That was one of those where Max Arnold and Upamecano went for a ball that was touched loosely by Upamecano. They both went in for it. It was a heavy touch by the Leipzig defender. They both went into it 50-50, and no malice in it at all. It's Arnold's follow-through that kicks Upamecano. Glad to see they've both come out of that without issue. I think Upamecano has been booked, however. I thought the referee may let that go, but he's deemed it to be a little bit rash on the Leipzig defender's part. Now the referee restarting play with a drop ball. And it'll go all the way back to Galassi. So Upamecano on a yellow now to join Joshua Guilavogui of Wolfsburg in the book. But Leipzig back in possession. I'm glad that he hasn't overreacted there, because those type of balls where both players go in full speed sometimes lead to red cards, and it wouldn't have warranted it. Would have been harsh. Leipzig trying to work something down the right, but the ball is too heavy for Campbell to chase before it's out for a goal kick. As we approach the hour mark, pictured there is the goal scorer, Marcel Halstenberg. What a fine goal it was. Any striker would be glad to claim a instinctive strike like that. Ball flicked on there by Didavi, but collected by Leipzig. They try to calmly play out from the back, but Didavi's won it back, and he's been fouled by Ilsanker in midfield, and Ilsanker not happy. He thinks Didavi's dived there, but Ilsanker will find himself in the book as well. Well, Stefan Ilsanker, I don't know that he can have any complaints. They lost the ball. He went through Didavi to get to the ball. He thought he won it, but he took all of Didavi to get there, and definitely a foul and probably a justified yellow, as it did stop a counter. be interesting to see what Wolfsburg can do. The clock has just ticked across the hour mark, and Didavi puts this one into the box. It's headed away by Upamecano. It was a vital header. Now Halstenberg will come away with it, and Keita finds Poulsen in midfield. It's drifted deep, but he's found Campbell with a really good ball across field. Campbell surging down the left, running right at Udekai. Ball back into Campbell from Werner, but just dealt with by Wolfsburg, and they do get it clear all the way to Didavi. Leipzig run them out of possession, though, and now they are looking to turn the heat up. Werner down the left. Both strikers drifting deep and wide for Leipzig here, and Keita looking to work things into the box. Poulsen looking to flick it around the corner to himself, but can't get around the defender, and Casteels collects. We are set for an absolutely thrilling last 30 minutes. All locked up at 1-1 and poised for the neutral, exactly where you want it. I know there are a few RB Leipzig fans who won't want it to stay locked up for long, and Werner may break the deadlock as he tries to find the near post, but it's into the side netting. And although Werner is a lethal finisher, I don't think he ever was a favorite to score from that position. Casteels taking his time, restarting play from the goal kick. Werner is so good scoring from those wide positions, but he was never likely to score from there as Upamecano climbs really high to win a good header, and Ilsanker comes away with the ball after some nice work from Keita in midfield. Now Werner's worked his way out to the right. Fires a left-footed shot in, but deflected away, and now Konate plays a long ball forward, but it's out for a goal kick. He just overhit it. He was looking for Klosterman down that right side on the overlap, but in the end he came away with nothing, and Casteels will get to run a bit more time. As he looks to restart play. I think we're just hitting that point where both managers will start to survey their options. It's Wolfsburg getting down the right here, and a long searching ball by William. Leipzig dealing with it very easily. Konate coming away with it. Leipzig have a throw now. Klosterman looking to restart play in Wolfsburg's half, but like I said, I think it's one of those times where both managers will just be surveying their options, as William has put that ball behind, and it is another Leipzig corner. Leipzig had a whole bushel full of corners in the first half. Weren't able to make any of them stick, but Halstenberg is over. He'll look to find the right delivery. Got no shortage of targets. But Wolfsburg have climbed the highest to clear most of the time, as it's flicked on at the near post, and Bruma will run onto this. He's down the left-hand side, cuts onto his right foot. He's looking for the angle for a shot, can't find it. Oh, and he plays a weak pass across, and it's Mali who comes away with it. Wolfsburg able to maintain possession, and a cross-field ball finds Didavi on the left, but his long cross turns into an easy catch for Peter Galashi. Keita now running past Wolfsburg defenders, and in the end it's a bad tackle. I think it's Yunus Mali there in midfield who did it and brought him down, and he's shown a card. It's actually Didavi, excuse me. Didavi was beat all ends up and was never getting there, and clips Keita in midfield and earns himself a yellow card. Leipzig back on the ball. Long ball forward. Keita finding his way into the box. Now he's on the edge of the area. Brought down again. Gilavogi will have to be careful. But now Klosterman's onto it down the right. Crosses towards Werner, but cleared away by Wolfsburg. Keita looking to collect again, but and he does. He puts Wolfsburg under a lot of pressure, but then he kicks out at Max Arnold. And Keita may now find himself in the book. He helps Arnold out. Oh, actually, he's avoided a booking there. So, Red Bull's red specialist. As in a bizarre moment, the fourth official shows everybody the board with no numbers on it, but it is Mario Gomez who will be sacrificed for Divock Origi. Big Div on to try to make a difference for Wolfsburg. And now I have a rooting interest on both sides, so you can tell that I'm going to be well and truly partial. Divock Origi, introduced in the 66th minute. As Bruma looking for a searching ball down the right, he finds Werner. Werner looking for the angle for a cross past Brooks, but it's into the arms of Kun Castile. Literally writing big div in my notes. No need for formalities when it comes to Divock Origi. But now Wolfsburg with an opportunity. Verhaeg is on the ball down the right. Opts to pass up a chance to cross and rotates the ball through the midfield through Gilavogi. Links up with Gerhardt. Gerhardt down the right. Skips past Upamecano on a nice turn in the box by Yunus Mali, but just dealt with. It was Ibrahima Konate who made the vital intervention, and it was actually a back heel. Yunus Mali looked to have done the hard work. Yunus Mali doing such good work for Mainz last season. Earned his move to Wolfsburg, and now Didavi will look to put this corner into the box. Caught well by Galashi, commanding the area. The veteran keeper, Hungarian. He's actually one connection that I haven't talked about to Liverpool, in that he was a Liverpool player back in the day, a backup for Pepe Reina, but he's found his feet now in Leipzig, as a loose pass there nearly finds Leipzig in trouble, but Wolfsburg unable to maintain possession, and Leipzig headed back the other way. Ilsanker lofts the ball forward. Klosterman linking up with Campbell. Campbell just trying to escape the attentions of Max Arnold. Werner dropping deep into midfield again. Can't beat Gilavogi with his pass, and in the end, Gerhardt's bundled over by Yusuf Poulsen. Verhaeg. And eventually back to Castiles. With the introduction of Origi in that striker position, Gomez obviously a very pure striker of the ball. Origi is able to play with his back to goal. He's able to hold that ball up. May just be looked at as a more physical presence. Gomez physically a physically daunting figure, fairly tall, fairly big, but Origi very strong in that center forward position. So I think Martin Schmidt just looking for that extra threat up top, and Gomez, apart from his one strike that nearly found the top right corner, It's just high and wide in the end, and it was a great strike from a seasoned veteran, but I think the energy and work rate of Origi, which is on display here as he's brought down. He went down too easily, says the referee. And now Keita looking for Werner. Werner's brought it under control, but just not able to bring it under with his second touch. His first touch looked brilliant, but Wolfsburg able to work it back out to the right. 20 minutes to go now, and again, the game finally poised. Leipzig looked to put Werner in again, but I think he may have been offside if he had actually played that. But now Halstenberg in an interesting position. Poulsen, forward for Werner. Caught by Casteels. Just too near him. Poulsen nearly found the right ball there for Werner to just tap in, but Casteels alive to the situation, and he was never getting beat. Brooks playing everybody on side there, and the angle just wasn't quite there. Brooks did enough to put Poulsen off. So now Wolfsburg back in possession, and he'll look to snatch a goal here. Bruma doing well to dispossess Wolfsburg, and Leipzig looking to start things the other way again. Unable to, and Wolfsburg coming back the other way through Didavi. Back into midfield, it's Max Arnold. It's forward for Mali. Mali looking to work it onto his right foot. Brought down on the edge of the area, but told to get up and play on. Everybody stopped. Everybody thought he was fouled. Did not play towards the whistle, and Naby Keita nearly comes away with it, but dispossessed in the end by Verhaeghe. Oh, and it's flicked through. Oh, and it was Gerhardt who nearly ran onto it, but nothing doing, and immediately back the other way for Leipzig as Werner picks it up. Werner's running at William. Werner's kept it in. He's got past William. He's used his strength. He's brought down. Now he's hurdled over by William, and I think he's eventually going to be whistled for a foul. Werner furious with the linesman who told him to get up when he thought he was initially fouled by William. So here's the initial foul that everyone, I think, thought was going to be given. And then here's Werner just using his strength. I don't know. I think it was a foul on Werner there. But then eventually he's whistled for handball, I think, for touching the ball in that tangle with Williams. Such a strange little scenario there down the Leipzig right. But in the end, it's a free kick for Wolfsburg, and Upamecano climbing over Origi to win that header, but Wolfsburg maintaining possession. Wolfsburg looking to work some passes here. Guilavogui exchanging passes with Arnold. Arnold forward to Mali. Mali looking to work it wide. Ball comes back in from William, and it's deflected off Campbell for a Wolfsburg corner. Things just getting a little nervous here for both teams. Playing, neither want to lose, obviously, but both teams stretching the game here and trying to go for the win as the ball will be delivered in towards the center. It's flicked on, and it's on the side, into the side netting. It was John Brooks. Couldn't even see in the mess of bodies who had gotten his head to that. And oh no, it actually came off the back of Poulsen's head, and it bulged the net, but only the side netting. Wolfsburg will get another opportunity since it came off Poulsen. It's into the center. Gerhardt's headed it back across goal, and it's flicked on, and it is just wide. It was Verhaeghe who took on the shot in the end. He's already got one goal. Maybe he was feeling like he could nab a second, but the flicked header away leads to another corner for Wolfsburg, I think, here. Didavi across to take. Wolfsburg with 3 straight opportunities. Referee just separating Gerhardt and Keita here, giving them a talking to. Ludo Vinkman maybe just, like we talked about at the top of the game, maybe getting caught up in the emotion of it a little bit too much right now. Trying to control the game as a spectacle. Headed down, Bruma able to clear it away, and Werner's running away down the right. Wolfsburg scurrying to get back in position as Bruma looks to maintain the momentum on this after the ball was a little behind him for Werner. He slides it through for Werner. Werner able to deliver a cross, caught by Casteels again. Casteels has been awake to every single one of those crosses, and he restarts with a smart roll out to Yunus Mali. Now Verhaeghe plays the ball through. It's Didavi through the center. Didavi with a chance here. Didavi with a left-footed shot blocked away by Leipzig. Divock Origi, I think, would have liked Didavi to choose the pass there, but instead Williams running infield. He is right-footed. Remember, he's a right back by trade playing on the left. Now the ball slid through for Mali, cut out by Konate, and then Keita calmly on the edge of his area, turning on the ball and running half the length of the field with it. He eventually lays it off to Campbell. And again, just slowing the tempo down a little bit here, Leipzig. I think they've spent enough time in their half. The last few minutes have been all Wolfsburg, looking to turn things around again. And Bruma's down the right but can't get past William, and William able to find Gilavogi. And now Wolfsburg looking to quickly go the other way. Max Arnold, long searching ball towards Origi, but cut out by Konate. Again, calmly done from Leipzig here. Very calm passing, and now looking to turn things. Udakai just deals with that ball over the top. Long ball out from Gilavogi, looking for Gerhardt. Gerhardt able to carry it forward a little bit, and Verhaeghe now on the ball to his right, looking to give the ball back to Gerhardt, but Campbell able to collect. He clears it only as far as Gilavogi. Now John Brooks in Leipzig's half for probably the first time. Corners aside, of course. Now Didavi has found William down the left. William at the byline. Flicks off. Oh my God. I can't even describe what just happened. Konate had the ball deflect off his thigh. It fell for Origi a yard away from goal. And Divock Origi has missed an absolute sitter. I don't know how he's missed it. Oh, big Div. He's put it over the bar from 2 yards. The chance was tailor-made. He was in the exact right place at the exact right time. And now Bruma will be sacrificed for Diego Demi. Wow. In real time, it all happened so fast, I couldn't even describe what was occurring. It hit off Konate. It fell for Origi 2 yards out. And the Belgian should have put it away and probably would have put the game to bed with only 12 minutes to go. Instead, we are still level at 1, and I cannot believe he's missed it. Oh, wow. All right, well, as we approach that 80-minute mark, only 10 minutes left to be played, Leipzig pushing back the other way, having been given a second lease on life, but Klosterman's cross is into the arms of Casteels again, and his rollout to Arnold has launched the attack the other way. William running at Ilsanker, who is on a yellow. Arnold finds Mali, who finds Origi, saved by Galashi, and eventually cleared by Konate. Origi trying to make amends, and it is back the other way. Keita running past 2 defenders. But then his pass is too long for Werner down the right. This game is frantic. This game is insane. What a way to start the midweek schedule for the Bundesliga. This has been a great advertisement for the league, and wow, I God, it was a good strike from Origi too, but Galashi did fantastically well to get down and save, and then what a challenge in the end from Konate to deal with that. Wow, absolutely breathless stuff here in the last 20 or so minutes. Leipzig, just a little bit of miscommunication there. Klosterman unable to run onto the ball, and it will be a goal kick. We've played 81 minutes. This has been absurd, insane. Diego Demi has come on for Campbell, for those who missed it, and Konrad Laimer will now come on for Lucas Klosterman. Klosterman with a good contribution in his time, but unable to make his deliveries from those right-hand positions count. Diego Demi on for the last few minutes, and Konrad Laimer on for Lucas Klosterman. Still the only one change that Wolfsburg have made as Divock Origi, who should have made his change count. He was in the right place at the right time and somehow skewed over from 2 yards. Ball into the box for Wolfsburg. Origi was not near it. Galashi was, and he collects and restarts play by rolling it out to Upamecano. Well, it's not often that the story of a game really comes down to two vital incidents, but Wolfsburg's goal is a long ball into the box from Halstenberg, who scored the score of Leipzig's lone goal. Plays it forward, but it was Castells again, just sniffing out the danger. Wolfsburg going back the other way. Oh, and the ball is through. It's Didavi! Oh, he's wide. He's skewed wide. Didavi found himself in space, and I think he probably... actually, the linesman's behind the play, and he probably would have been a hair offside. It wasn't given. The linesman was behind the play. Didn't see it. If it had gone in, it would have been controversial. But Didavi, I think, could have benefited from taking an extra touch and pulling that back. He had runners to his left, but he took on the shot himself, and it was just wide. Leipzig now back in possession. Werner is forward down the left, but he is in an offside position and is flagged. But like I said, two vital incidents. The first, the penalty in the first half. That set Wolfsburg into the lead. Leipzig dominated from there. They got the equalizer. But it's Wolfsburg who had the clear chance to win it. Divock Origi, the Liverpool loanee, missing an absolute sitter. Well, Jurgen Klopp, you can rest assured, is watching this game. I'd have to imagine, with Naby Keita and Divock Origi involved, and Liverpool not playing today. I have to think he's trying to get the notes on this match at least. He won't be happy as Poulsen fouls John Brooks. Poulsen not happy with the decision. Poulsen, the Danish international, headed to the World Cup on the back of that big playoff win over Ireland. Poulsen has been a revelation since coming through the ranks at RB Salzburg and then Leipzig. But now Wolfsburg maybe have a chance to come up with something here. Verhaeg's cross blocked away. Werner able to collect. He's got help. Poulsen with a long pass out to the left. It's into Halstenberg's control. Halstenberg put it in towards the strikers, and they both left it for each other. Now a nice spinning touch from Yunus Mali, but in the end dealt with. And Keita, who's now drifted off to the right, running infield, and Diego Demi now on the ball for Leipzig. Keita's in the box, but can't outsmart Gilavogi, who does just enough to get the ball away. And Origi looked to have brought it under control, but Leipzig regaining possession. And it's Halstenberg! Oh, he struck it from distance. Stung the palms of Castells, but that's all. Halstenberg with a scent for goal. He struck it, just got way more bend on it, I think, with the outside of his boot than he expected, and it ended in an easy catch. You could see from the angle right behind him how he was actually striking it towards that right hand post as he looked at it, but the ball bent back outward and turned into a comfortable save for Castells. That ball cut out by William, a long diagonal, and then a foul given against Konrad Leimer there down the right. Leipzig will probably feel that they should be coming away with the 3 points here, but it's actually Wolfsburg who will be ruining the biggest chance. At 2-1 with about 12 minutes to play, Divock Origi puts it over the bar from 2 yards. God, if you showed me a freeze frame right before it got to him, said, does he score this or not? I'd say, obviously, I'd put money on it. But maybe with a chance to atone here, Wolfsburg. It's Yunus Mali, saved by Gulashi. And again, Leipzig able to avoid the danger. It was a good ball from Max Arnold, slid through, and Mali and Origi kind of got in each other's way, but Mali was able to work enough space for a shot. Wolfsburg with another opportunity there, but it just came up to Origi too quickly, and his touch was not of the required quality. Now another substitution will be made. It will be Didavi, who is sacrificed, and it looks to be Osimhen. Well, that is a definitively defensive change for Martin Schmidt and Wolfsburg. Just looking to see out this result as Osimhen, the defender, comes on in place of Didavi, who's been their biggest threat. And it'll be the final throw of the dice for Leipzig with 2 minutes to go in regular time. Dominic Kaiser on for Kevin Campbell. Long ball forward by Leipzig. Doesn't escape Wolfsburg's midfield, but the second ball does. Max Arnold just back to deal with that. And now Castells will boot it clear. Doesn't get it all the way clear, though. And now Keita, who has dropped off to the left, looking for a way past Osimhen, the new introduction from Wolfsburg. He's worked it back infield for Ilsanker, but his ball just a little too careless, and now Origi's played a good ball out to Gilavogi, and now Gerhardt's headed down the right. And Wolfsburg just looking for that next opportunity, but Gerhardt can't find Origi with the return ball. Diego Demi able to run away with it now, and Werner's worked his way back out to the right. Keita is searching for the winner. Keita is only taking up attacking positions. Poulsen's in the center. Ilsanker unable to beat Max Arnold, and then Max Arnold fouled in the end. Oh, and excuse me, it wasn't Ilsanker who was challenging. It was Halstenberg, the goal scorer. Halstenberg challenging and clashing with Max Arnold, and Max Arnold just feeling the opportunity to go down, and Halstenberg booked. I think he's a bit unlucky to receive his third yellow card of the campaign. Again, Molly trying to get forward, has to work it back through the midfield through Max Arnold, and then Gilavogi finds Gerhardt, but a loose touch finds Keita. Keita charging back the other way, just asking for Gilavogi to put in a challenge. He is on a yellow. And now we have hit the 90-minute mark. There are 3 added minutes for someone to find a winner. Diego Demi forward to take this one for Leipzig. This throw to restart play. The first minute of stoppage time has essentially already ticked off just in the time it took to take that throw. Now a foul by Leimer down the right allows Wolfsburg to restart play, and now a foul given against Upamecano. Oh, and it's a second yellow for Upamecano. Upamecano sent off in the closing minutes. Wolfsburg down to 10 men. He climbed over Osman, who's essentially been thrown forward. Oh, and he's been sent off for the elbow. Oh, there was no malice in it. But as he searched for Osman to go up for the header, he connected with the defender's face, and just like that, Leipzig down to 10 men. Upamecano with his first red card of this campaign. Otherwise, you'd have to have said Upamecano had a good game. A bit unlucky to be sent off in those circumstances. Now another full minute has ticked off the clock, and I'm not sure that we've actually played any of the 3 added minutes. Essentially had 2 full stoppages for the entirety of that. And the RB Leipzig defender will head off, and Max Arnold is over this free kick. Looks to loft it towards the far post. It's headed back across, but it's Origi. Oh, the snapshot doesn't come off, but then saved by Galassi, and then wide by Gilavogi. What a save by Galassi to keep things level, and then skewed wide in the end by Joshua Gilavogi. It was deflected. It was lofted to the far post. It was headed down. Origi's snapshot was blocked away. And then Gerhardt nearly found the bottom right-hand corner, but Wolfsburg have a corner. Caught by Galassi. Max Arnold's delivery, not good enough. Now Galassi will slow things down, and again, another opportunity for the point, and it was a double save by Galassi that proved absolutely vital. And there's the final whistle. Wolfsburg holds RB Leipzig, and the draw specialists achieved their 10th draw of this Bundesliga season. It won't get them any closer to Hanover. They'll still be 3 points clear. Ralph Hasenhüttl not pleased, I think, both with the referee and his players' performance. In the end, well, what a game, and what a finish to the game. We had, in the first half, Paul Verhaeghe opened the scoring after Mario Gomez was fouled in the area. Led to a penalty, and Verhaeghe dispatched the spot kick with aplomb. Things carried on from there. Lots of Leipzig pressure all through the game, which eventually led to a goal early in the second half. Marcel Halstenberg scoring with an instinctive finish on the left off a great piece of work and pass from Yusuf Poulsen as he finished into the bottom right-hand corner. From there, it was back and forth. At times, it looked like Leipzig would take advantage of their dominance, and then at times it looked like Wolfsburg would capitalize on the wasted chances. And the best chance of the day fell to Divock Origi, and he was unable to dispatch the deflection off of Konate from 2 yards out. It's the simplest of finishes. It would have been easier. It would have been easier to score than to not from there. But in the end, it does finish 1-1. Peter Galassi making a fantastic double save in the closing minutes to deny both Yannick Gerhardt and Joshua Gilavogi. What a match! I hope you all enjoyed. I enjoyed the absolute hell out of commentating that. That was a great game. I know those RB Leipzig fans that paid attention to this will not be pleased with the result. But Wolfsburg, again, getting a draw. Leipzig now winless in 4 straight. And maybe some alarm bells going off at Die Roten Bullen. But Die Wolf, on the other hand, probably happy with the point, although they did have a chance to win it there at the end. For those of you who joined me, I hope you enjoyed. And had a lot of fun doing this. Hopefully you guys will stay tuned for more Two Red Gringos amateur announcing. Rest assured this will not be the last time that I do this. I may do another one this weekend. We shall see. Check us out on Twitter at Two Red Gringos, especially if you're a Liverpool fan. If you're just a football fan, you can follow me at Baki Balboa, and check out our podcast and website, tworedgringos.com. You can find us on iTunes, and if you're here, while you're here, you can subscribe to our YouTube, and you can get alerts when I go live with stuff like this, or when I post videos, or whatever. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I will see you later.